Hello, Par Productions here with another Beatles unboxing of another box set. This time it's Revolver. And I just got my copy. Here it is. I haven't opened yet. I'm going to unbox it. Got this from Amazon. And I will say today is Sunday, October 30th. This was released Friday, October 28th. I didn't get it till today. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with Amazon. I pre-ordered this on October 11th, about 6 weeks before the actual release date. So I'd be sure to get it on time, or on the release date. But I noticed earlier this past week, it said when I checked my Amazon account, it said that I wasn't going to get it until November 11th. November 11th, that's 2 weeks from the release date. Why would it take 2 weeks to get it? I don't know. But anyway, fortunately it didn't. I got it 2 days late. But anyway. Okay. Alright, anyway, I'm going to unbox this puppy dog now. I'm going to start cutting. Cutting the box. Don't want to cut me. Can you see here? It's Amazon Prime. See this up? Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go. Opening the box. Opening the... Oh! And we got another box inside. Oh! It's in yet another box. Go inside here. Alright. Hopefully now. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here comes everybody. Oh! And there it is. I see it. I see it. There it is. There it is. Here in the box. Ah! And here it is. I'll let you see it first. Ah! My Revolver box set. Of course. Oh, there. Spine. Can you see that? I don't know if that's in focus. Back. Spine. Revolver box set. I'm so excited. Anyway, so as I was saying, I'm getting this 2 days late from the release date, but I have heard all the music. Thank you, Jesus. Thanks to today's technology, streaming music. I'm a member of Amazon Prime, so I'm also a member of Amazon Music. So it was released, you know, on streaming music just after midnight. Actually, I woke up. I'm not an early bird. I don't usually get up early in the morning, but I happened to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning. I didn't get up. I was laying in bed. Had my phone next to me, had my headphones, put my headphones on, and at 4 o'clock in the morning I started listening to this. I listened to this all the way through, at least twice, maybe 3 times, before I even got up on Friday. I had that day off. Anyway, so I have heard the music before I even got this, so that's kind of a good thing since it was 2 days late. Alright, here we go. We're opening it. Here comes, oh! Here comes the book. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. So, as I said, I have heard all the songs, all the music from this. What I wasn't able to do is read the book, which I've been really looking forward to. Reading about each recording, each song, so I can, you know, have information and know information about the recordings of it. Oh, nice, nice book. This is way nicer than you can see. I've been watching over the weekend, yesterday, I watched several videos of other people's unboxing. So I've seen a lot of you guys who have done unboxing videos. I've seen them. Okay, I'm not going to show all of this, but here, look, I'm letting you see it before I see it. Oh, there's Paul in the foreword. I knew Paul McCartney did a foreword. An introduction by Giles Martin. Look at this. All right, I'm so excited to get to this. Look at the pictures. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. All right. All right. That's the book. What do I do with the rest? Oh, let's take out this. The actual CDs themselves. Looks kind of like the album, which here I'll show you in just a second here. But I'm going to open this up. Oh, there's the CDs. There's all the CDs. What are there? 5 CDs. The original, or no, I'm sorry, the 2022 stereo mix. I don't even have to look. I know this because I've seen several other unboxing videos, so I know what's in here. The 2022 stereo mix, the original 1966 mono mix on CD. This is the EP for Paperback Writer and Rain. Both stereo and mono mixes are on here. 2022 stereo mix and the original mono mix is on here. These are the session CDs with rehearsals, demos, outtakes. That's the stuff I really love. That's the stuff I'm really got this for, is the outtakes and demos and, you know, the stuff we haven't heard before. Even though I think some of this we've heard on from Anthology, that's okay. I think some of it is kind of the same. It is the same, only different. And a little more mixed stuff in there. Okay, what I also want to show you is, I want to show you my original Revolver album. This is the brand new CD. This is my original Revolver album. You can see it from 1966. You can see it's kind of yellowed. The back is very much faded. It had a piece of tape. It has a piece of tape here, which of course makes it worth less. Not that I would ever sell it. I'm not. It's not in that great a condition. The cover isn't. Here's the album. I took the album out. Yes, it is a capital album because I am in America. But can you see there? Can you read that? Revolver, capital. It's in pretty good condition. I don't ever play it. I haven't played this in probably 30 years. I don't even have a record player, so let's see. We'll put this back in. Anyway, my original Revolver from 1966. In 1966, I was 4 years old, so no, I did not buy this new. I bought this many years later when I was in my early 20s, I think. Yeah, well, definitely when I was in my early 20s. So bought this in the early 80s. So it was 20 years old, around 20 years old when I bought it. But that's okay. I can't help it. Hey, I was only 4 when it came out. Wasn't really buying albums at the time, or records, but I am now. Okay. The Beatles Revolver Super Deluxe 5 CD edition. I always buy the CDs, never the albums. I couldn't care less about albums. I don't even own a turntable. Okay, I just want to say, by the way, I'm in my Beatle room. I'm in the basement, which is where my Beatle room is. I know the lighting isn't very good down here. Sorry about that. Can you see my Beatles stuff? Other box sets back there. There's Abbey Road and Let It Be and the White Album. Over there, Sgt. Pepper. Up there is Plastic Ono Band and Imagine. Back there is All Things Must Pass. The other box sets that have come out before this. I learned a new word yesterday while watching the other unboxing videos for this. Audiophile. Never heard that word before in my life until yesterday. However, I will say I am not an audiophile. I watched people watch videos where a guy said, I am an audiophile. Others said, I definitely am not an audiophile. Okay, and I thought, audiophile? Well, audiophile, F-I-L-E, what the heck? What is that? Well, I looked it up, I Googled it. It's one word, audiophile, P-H-I-L-E. Basically meaning music quality freak. I'm not a music freak. Oh, one thing about this box set is there's no Blu-ray in it like there was in all the other box sets. I couldn't care less. The Blu-rays from the other box sets sitting there, they've never been played. Mine have never been played because I don't have anything to play them on anyway, other than my regular Blu-ray that I play movies on through my TV. And that's not going to sound that great. So I couldn't care less about that. I don't go for all the, you know, I don't spend thousands and thousands of dollars on speakers and all that stuff. I couldn't if I wanted to. And I don't want to, because you know what? The music plays just fine on my regular stereo. I do listen to headphones, especially Beatles music. I think the music sounds great. I love the remixes, the new stuff. Oh, something else I want to say is, I don't really understand, maybe somebody can clear me up on this as to the big deal about mono versus stereo. Now, I understand, especially on an album like this, it was made in 1966, back then, there really wasn't stereo. Mono was the way to make it, and the Beatles made these records, made this music in mono. That's the way it was supposed to sound, because that's what was available at the time, where stereo was brand new, it was in its infancy, really, and I think, as I understand it, stereo back in those days really wasn't true stereo, it was just like fading. you know, from one side to the other, so it wasn't real stereo like we know today. So when the Beatles made these recordings, they made them for mono. So that's why they put the mono versions in here, I guess, is because for the people that, you know, want to hear them the way the Beatles intended them to sound. Well, I'm of the stereo age, you know, so I want to hear everything in stereo. Why would you ever listen to mono over stereo? I would not. So the mono versions that are in here, I will probably never listen to. Like when I was laying in bed the other night and listening to this on my headphones, yes, I let the whole thing play and I did listen to it. That sounds great. Yeah, it's fine. But I'd rather hear it in stereo. Okay, now I just want to go over the songs, the recordings on here, and tell you my impressions, basically of the sessions CDs. Because like I said, the new mixes I think are fantastic. They sound great, and I love them. It's a great album. Revolver is a fantastic album, as everyone knows. Okay, but as far as the sessions go, Tomorrow Never Knows. Yeah, the first version, version 1, is pretty much exactly like what we heard in have on Anthology, which came out in 1995, so we've had that for quite a while. But not quite. It's a different mix. So it's the same version, but just different mixes. And then version 2 is pretty much like what's on the album, the Revolver album. Again, different mix. I don't know, took things in and out. I've only heard it like 3 or 4 times so far, so I'm not an expert on this. Got to Get You Into My Life. I will say that has never been a favorite song of mine. It's a great song. I love it. Nothing, not cutting it down. Don't hate me. It just is not one of my favorite Beatles songs. I'm just not real hip on all the horns and brass and all that stuff. Is it version 1 on here? There are 3 different versions on the Sessions CD. One of them, oh my gosh, it's like an acoustic. It's just Paul. It sounds beautiful. Paul's voice. Never before have I thought about this album being a harmonies album. You know, the Beatles and harmonies. You know, when you think of the Beatles and harmonies, and yes, I know they do have beautiful harmonies. When I think of harmony songs by the Beatles, you of course think of Because. You think of Babies in Black. You think of Happiness is a Warm Gun. They do have great harmonies. John, Paul, and George can sing beautifully together. They all can. But anyway, until I heard the sessions from this album, almost every song, they have beautiful harmonies. On the session CD, anyway. Now, not all of them made it to the final versions on the album. But, oh my gosh. The Beatles' 3-part harmony, or their harmonies, or singing together, is just great on all of this. Okay, so now going back to Got to Get You Into My Life. Oh yeah, the harmonies are just great on that. And that version of Paul, without the horns and everything, it was great, great. Also, there's a lot of instrumentals on here, which is very interesting. That's cool. I'm not a huge fan. I would rather hear singing. I'd rather hear the Beatles rehearse. I love the rehearsals. I love the demos. I love the outtakes. And I want to hear the Beatles singing in it. So I don't know. Did they record the music always first and then do the vocals later? I don't know. I don't know if they did that or not. But on most all of these, there's an instrumental track on most all of these songs, which is fine. As long as they do enough. I was kind of disappointed that For No One, which has always been one of my favorite Beatles songs, on the Sessions CD, the only For No One take is an instrumental. There's no Sessions, an outtake with vocals. And I was kind of disappointed in that. Anyway, okay, going on. Next song, Love You Too. Oh my gosh, this first version, with George and just his acoustic guitar, so beautiful. And again, harmonies. I'm not sure if it's just Paul doing harmonies with him, or maybe it's George double tracking his own voice. I don't know, but whatever. The harmonies sound great, and without all the sitar and the Indian music. I'm not knocking that stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love that version, but this new version on here with just George and his acoustic guitar, oh my gosh, sounds beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, what's next? Paperback Writer, I don't know what to say about that. Rain, there's some different versions of Rain on here. I have always loved Rain. That's always been one of my favorite Beatles songs. So love the versions of Rain on here. Dr. Robert, great version of Dr. Robert, again with the beautiful harmonies. Another one of my favorites, always been a great favorite. And Your Bird Could Sing. Oh my gosh, great harmonies on that. I know I'm repeating, but I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. They all just have great harmonies, and these session songs are just, you know, fantastic. I'm Only Sleeping. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 different versions or outtakes of I'm Only Sleeping. At least 1 or 2 are instrumental. Eleanor Rigby. One of a speech before. Yeah, that's pretty. That's kind of interesting. George Martin is telling Paul, "Hey, listen to this." Oh, I think he said with or without the vibrato, and Paul did. And they would play both versions. And George asked him, "So which one do you like?" And Paul's like, "Well, can't really tell the difference. Can't really hear much difference." I'm with Paul. I can't either. I can't tell on that. And then the second version is just the music. And as we know, no Beatle played a single instrument on Eleanor Rigby, so that's not even the Beatles, you know, which is, it's still cool hearing the instrumental, you know, the instrumentation, but it's not the Beatles. By the way, I will say there was a lot of that on the Sgt. Pepper box set too. And I gotta say, of all the box sets, I'm gonna digress here just a minute. I know I've heard a lot of people on your videos say how much they love Sgt. Pepper. They thought Sgt. Pepper was the best. I love Sgt. Pepper. I'm right there with you. Of course, it's a fantastic album, one of the best albums in the world ever made. But of all the box sets, Sgt. Pepper is my least favorite, simply because too much instrumental stuff. And a lot of it isn't even the Beatles. It was orchestras playing, or brass, or, you know, all the wind instruments. And, it wasn't even the Beatles. So I would rather hear the Beatles playing, you know, their music and their instruments and singing. Anyway, I know, I'm sorry, I digress. Okay, Yellow Submarine. Oh my gosh. The versions, there's what, 4 versions of Yellow Submarine on here on the sessions. It is just, for those 4 songs, it is worth buying this box set. That is so cool. And not that Yellow Submarine is a favorite song of mine. Yeah, it's my grandkids love it. My kids loved it when they were little. I played it for them. Now my grandkids love it. I play it for them. Anyway, but we learned a lot on these sessions stuff. Like I was talked about in other videos made, unboxing videos. We all thought, thought that Yellow Submarine was primarily written by Paul McCartney. Well, it turns out, guess what? I think John Lennon was the essence of it, or started it all, was the beginnings of it. The genesis of it, that's the word. Because as we hear in the first version here on Sessions, which is only a minute long, about a minute long, it's John on his acoustic guitar starting out the music of the verses, not the chorus. So, and I know Paul did write the chorus. Okay, so in the first version of Yellow Submarine, John on his acoustic guitar, and he's singing, you know, in the town where I was born, no one cared, no one cared. So it's not really a finish. It's the genesis, and that is so neat to me. I love hearing that kind of stuff. Yeah, so we hear the evolution of Yellow Submarine in these 4 different versions. The first one of John, just this real short 1 minute, take of him when he first started writing this. Not the chorus again, but with the verse. Anyway, then the second version on here, Yellow Submarine, is John and Paul together with their acoustic guitars. I think it's John playing guitar, and he has the first verse and they have the chorus. When they keep doing the first verse, I think they do it like 3 times. And then on the chorus, John and Paul sing together. Again, harmonizing. They sound just great. Singing the "We all live in a yellow submarine." It's awesome. It's awesome. That is just fantastic. And then version number 3 is with Ringo, but is no band. Well, it's the band. It's the Beatles playing, but no outside band, So like when Ringo says, "and the band begins to play," there's no da 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 da. It's just acoustic guitar, I think. Anyway, it's so stark, is I guess the word, and I love it. I love it. It's Ringo with the other three singing harmonies again on the chorus. We All Live in a Yellow Submarine. It's beautiful. It's great. And then the fourth version is something we got on the anthology. It was actually not on the anthology. It's from Anthology 2. It was a B-side, or it was on an EP. I forget which EP, but I've got it back here. Anyway, what did they call it? A highlights mix or something like that. Where is it? Highlighted sound effects is what they call it on here, where they have the ding, 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 you know, and you hear the water and bubbles blowing, and you hear tinkling in the background and stuff that isn't on the original. And Ringo starts out at the beginning, saying, here we come, and here's the day, and Yellow Submarine, we love it. I don't know what he says, but something like that. Anyway, it's very cool. But it's not the exact same version that we heard in Anthology, because it has a different ending. It ends different. That's kind of a abrupt cutoff. But anyway, very cool, very cool, very cool. Okay, and the rest of this stuff, I want to tell you, Here, There, and Everywhere, a beautiful song. She Said, She Said, oh, She Said, She Said. Great version of that on here, on the session. One of them I heard from the Lost Linen tapes, if you remember that, going back to the 80s. Little tidbit, fun fact, the Lost Linen tapes, remember that with Elliot Mintz? It was a radio show on the Westwood One network. It used to be on here on Sunday nights, 10 o'clock, 10 to 11. I never missed it. I recorded every single episode. I forget how what are there, 200 episodes, 250 episodes? I don't know what there is. There's a bunch of them. Anyway, I never missed a single one. I made sure I was available every Sunday night at 10 o'clock to record onto a cassette tape, and then I re-edited it, took out all the commercials, and by the way, and I made a double copy, I made 2 copies of it, so that just in case anything happened to one, I'd have another. I still have those. They're right down there. I doubt if I've ever played them again. So there's hours and hours and hours of Lost Linen tapes that I have. Totally worth the Elliot Mintz, you know, the whole thing. Anyway, I digress again, but in the Lost Linen Tips, they played this version of the She Said, She Said #1 with John, and what did he do? And it making me feel like my trousers are torn. I've always remembered that, him saying that on there. Also on the Lost Linen Tapes, what's not on here is that they played another version, even earlier version of John, when it was He Said. He said. It wasn't a she. It was before he changed it to a she. Very interesting. The second version of She Said, She Said, the great harmonies. Wonderful box set, CDs, Beatles Revolver. Big thumbs up, just like all the rest. They're fantastic. Love them all. By the way, I will say, I'll digress again. The last one, which was Let It Be, came out last year. I just want to say, when I knew it was coming out, it was announced that it was coming out, I thought, because I had all kinds of bootlegs, from the 80s of the Get Back sessions. So I had so many different versions of all those songs So I thought, what could this new box set possibly have? And how, I really wasn't that impressed with it. But of course, I'm a huge Beatle fan, so of course I'm going to buy it. I got to say, I was so impressed with it because it sounds so good. The quality is awesome. Their voices just sound so good. The sessions stuff are just out of this world. I love it. It's one of my favorites. But again, they're all my favorites except for Sgt. Pepper. That's my least favorite. But Abbey Road, I love. White Album, I love. Let It Be, I love. And now, Revolver, I love. And hopefully, maybe next year, gonna look forward to, I guess we're going backwards now. So hopefully next year we're gonna have Rubber Soul and maybe go back from there. But looking forward to Rubber Soul. Anyway, original 1966 Beatles Revolver, 2022 Beatles Revolver. Go buy it if you don't have it. Thank you for watching.